Okay, so hi everyone, Liam Hartree here today with another episode of Presenting Champions. Got a very special guest on the show today. Really excited to interview this man, Anthony Holmes, who many people will know, bare knuckle boxing world middleweight champion, as well as super middleweight British champion as well. We're going to be talking about his fighting career today, but not only that, we're also going to be touching on a few other aspects of his life, in terms of one-to-one training, the youth centre he's looking to set up, and the mentality that it takes to compete in one of the toughest combat sports on earth, bare knuckle boxing. To get to the top of the mountain in that, really a very special achievement. So we'll be touching on some deeper things as well. But before we get into any of that, champ, let me just say once again, big thank you for coming on, and I appreciate you making the time for this today. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate having us on. Thank you. Pleasure.
No worries at all. No worries at all. So getting into it, as I mentioned, we'll get into some of the deeper side of things shortly. But kicking it off with, your combat sports journey and things like that. When we do this interview, some people will know all about you. Some people it'll be, they'll be finding out a bit more, and it'll be one of their first sort of exposures to you. So if we take it back a little bit before bare knuckle boxing, and in terms of what got you into that, where did your journey in combat sports actually start? Because I've seen there's a little bit of MMA in there, there's some other things
Yeah.
you've done. So if we go back, previous to bare knuckle, where did it start for you in terms of combat sports?
Yeah, I was 19. I started off as an amateur boxer. I jumped straight in deep end really within 4 weeks. Got set up. I've never been in with a southpaw. I just trained once a week or something daft like that. Sometimes two. And then my first fight, I realised how fit you had to be. Actually, I lost on points, and then I didn't lose again. Then it got a huge eye opener, and I thought I wasn't prepared. Like I say, I went in against this southpaw, Josh Collins from ABT, a good boxer as well. Spotted him a couple of times since. But yeah, never sparred against the southpaw, never and then third round, I'd only just clicked on. He stood opposite way. I walking onto all his shots, and then like I say, sort of mentality I am. I thought that's never happening to me again. So I made sure I put the work in, the effort in, and I ended up going into MMA from that as well, and did quite a few years MMA, but I kept having a few breaks in and out. So I kept ending up in prison, in trouble, a few other things going off in my life. So it stopped the ball rolling, and then I ended up retiring for quite a bit, and then ended up get back into it, and I am where I am now.
Yeah, amazing. And obviously, you were out of the game for a while. We touched on that there. When it comes to starting in bare knuckle boxing and stuff, where did you first get the idea? Obviously, it's a massively growing sport, it's growing all over the world now and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But where did you first get the idea to sort of jump in there and give that a go?
I mean, it sounds mad. This when I was a young kid, one of my I was in a pub, and one of the bloke who used to do a bit then, and I said, I'll do that one day. Like I said, just slipped my head, and then when I went back after having 6 years off, Neil Wayne, my coach, he says, "Wait, what are you going to do? Which direction are you going in here? You have pro boxing, you're jumping back in MMA, or do you fancy giving BKB a go? Given the stage where it's at now, big platform going up, and given my age, I had a shot straight away at a title. They were looking for a fill-in, and they just thought it was going to be a walkover for British title. Just thought it was fodder for Mason Shaw, but ended up being, in his words, it had bitten off more than I can chew. Ended up giving everybody a bit of a shot. So, and I've been at top since.
Yeah, amazing. It is an amazing achievement, and we'll get into that now in a moment. As I mentioned to you, when we spoke on the phone to set this up, one of the things I want to do is get into some stuff that also helps the new generation coming through. And you
Yeah.
touched on there about getting in a bit of trouble and stuff like that, and I don't want to dwell on that for any sort of negative reason. But in terms of the mindset change that you went through from sort of being in that situation to turning it around and saying I'm going to make something positive of myself and getting to where you get to, what were some of the changes you were going through, like in your own head, where you sort of decided like I don't want that life?
From
you know
young, I always thought there's more to life than this. Finding myself, just stuck in a loop. I'm not getting, having the same outcome. I do so well for so long, then same again, same outcome. And I just thought, where am I going in life? What am I doing? What am I doing with myself? And I mean, I had some stuff happen. I had my house burnt down. I got run over by three car falls in Bally's. You know, I had quite a lot of stuff happened at once. And one when I was laid up in bed for 3 weeks, I fractured my pelvis and that. All sorts of stuff were going through my head. You know, like I really wanted to get them back. You know, and the way I was thinking. Or thinking down some stupid lines, you know, how can I kill him and get away with it, sort of thing. I was getting actually going, and then I just did, you know. I just got a bit of sense, you know. Why you're just going to end up again in prison? You're going to end up not seeing your daughter. And I started, you know, questioning stuff, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to start training again, and then progress from there. Like I said, conversation when he, I'll just progressed, and now I'm in a stage like I like talking about all this because I'm in a stage where now I've got a lot of kids under me, what listen to me, what I'm guiding now, trying to give them, you know, a bit of advice and not make the same mistakes as me. And I get more job satisfaction, you know, from that than what I have done. Anything. Same when I'm coaching. If I, you know, once I've seen them come from nothing and then I see I'm having a word with them about the demeanor, you know, the demeanor, about respect, about discipline, and then just watching their skills develop as well. Not just in boxing, but you know, how to handle themselves. There's no what can beat that feeling. So it's I just want to give back as much as I can. Show me. That's where I'm aiming to. This is why I'm setting a few things up now. That's where I'm aiming for as soon as I finish fighting. So I've got a few things in pipeline at the minute, but we're trying to get up and running, which it's all exciting.
It is exciting times, and you know, honestly, champ, I've got a lot of respect for that, like giving back and you know, contributing to other people in a positive way. You know, when you see like a top champion doing that, it's a wonderful thing because you know people need that guidance. And again, you know, something I try and do with these is get into some stuff that you know can help people, give people some lessons, you know, that other people have learned and share with them. So we'll definitely get into that a bit more. Before we do, I have to ask, I mean, you got run over. I mean, because we will get into the fighting now, I promise you. But I didn't actually know that. So just for the purposes of showing the contrast of where you were to where you are, and then we'll get into the boxing, we'll get into the youth work and all that. Can you talk about what happened with that
Yeah,
situation?
well, I got into a bit of a feud, and it just escalating. It started with one, then they get more involved. And obviously with character name, it's it take more than just hands to beat to beat me. So more and more stuff will getting involved. And I've never been a person to back down with, you know, regardless what, you know, were to lose or what were to gain. And it just started getting out of hand. I wasn't going to back down. They weren't going to back down. More and more people getting involved. And then there was an argument on the phone one of the days. And like I said, they'd followed me. While I were out, they'd followed me all night. Then and we were just setting off to Leeds in car and got run into the side by a Freelander. Straight away, those lot jumped out. Another two cars pulled up, all ballad, started throwing petrol on my Navara. That went up. And like I say, yeah, just from there, then an Audi hit me and dragged me all the way across roundabout at M62. And I was stuck under that for a bit. Like I said, I fractured my pelvis, but it was just one of them. I'd just not long had my house burnt down not long before that as well. So it was just, it's been an ongoing thing for years, but that were worst part of it. That were when it comes to, you know, pinnacle sort of thing. And like I say, and then I was just stewing. I got within my own head. I was just stewing, you know, how to, you know, what do I do? How do I get them back? I can't leave it at this. And then, like I say, then I think, well, where does it end? You know, if I get them back, if I do this, if we get caught, I'm doing live, or if they retaliate, could because like when my house went up, my daughter's bedroom went up first, and luckily, she was just by freak. She stopped at her mum's that night, so it ended up with a bit of PTSD with that as well. So I was thinking Uncle couldn't sleep, heavy noise. So yeah, just ongoing, and then like I say, you had to weigh everything up, see where you're going with stuff. And I thought, well, am I going to end up in jail? Is my daughter going to see me again? What do I do? And like I said, I just thought best way to beat him really is succeed, and that's what I'm doing at the minute. So
Yeah, yeah. And let's get into that then, because it's amazing how you turned it around and how you made these big changes. Obviously, you touched on the British title win there, and we gave that little mention that it's an incredible achievement in itself. Talking a bit about the world title though, I mean, reaching like the dizzy heights of actually becoming a world champion and everything like that. Now with this, I don't have like a really narrow question about what happened in this round or what happened in this thing. I just want to hear your memories of the fight, because obviously you were the one who was in there.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to share about like the build up, the fight itself? Love to hear your thoughts on what went through your mind when you won it. When you actually knew you were
Yeah.
becoming. Just anything like that would be great to talk about.
It was the world title fight itself against Daniel Lerwell. He's known as Knockout King. He's just lost two I beat him. He just lost another one, but I don't think his head's been in the same place since. Given how I beat him. But yeah, leading up to it, well, I'd been in the bare knuckle journey. My dad passed away. I fought world title twice leading up to that. And the day I was supposed to fight, 23rd of May, died against Eric Holmes. So that gave me extra drive in itself. Not like I've already got plenty anyway, but it's like it just gave me more drive, more focus. Leading up to that, there was a bit of pressure on it, but I always feel at home. It's not that's when it thing everything makes sense to me. I feel comfortable, and I just see it as it's not who I'm fighting, but I just see it as next challenge for me, for myself to overcome. Because without any goals, without any focus or like that, I tend to lose myself again. So while I've got a fight lined up, or I just I'm in the best. As soon as I'm matched up, that's the best version of me. I'm completely, religious with everything I do, the build up to the fight. I don't see anybody, I won't go out drinking out. So I just shut off from everybody. And yeah, I'm just trying to achieve, best of me all the time. But that night, I know Lerwell were dangerous with his hands, no heavy handed, just off previous fights. I just stayed more elusive just to bide my time. After the first round, I think I caught like a finger or something in the end of the round. But that was the first time we've come together all fight. So then I thought, I'm a bit stronger than him as well in clinch. So I thought I'd test him a bit more in the second round. Ended up knocking him down. And then third, I was just biding my time till I got it. And then saw an opportunity, caught him and carried on hitting him. And then he fell down. It's like I stunned him with one of the shots, and it's like he didn't know where he was. I just stood in the middle of the ring, but I thought if it were the other way around, he'd beat me. So I was giving him another one. Say bye. Then
Yeah,
champion.
an incredible achievement. And obviously, people always talk about the fight itself, but in that moment, when you've become world champion, you reach the top of the mountain, so to speak, and all this stuff. What goes through your mind in a moment like that, and what are you thinking when that actually happens?
Yeah, well, the night was absolutely brilliant, but I didn't really have time to enjoy it or soak it in. I was having quite a lot of problems with my daughter at the time, a few issues going off, so I didn't say. I always seem to have a down. So after any fight as well, I seem to have a week or two when I really dip with me. What is it? Mental health a little bit. It's like I'm lost, and then I need that. It's like I need to hurry up, get another something else lined up to something to focus on. And then, like I said, I'm sort of a few issues going off with my daughter as well. So it didn't really sink into quite a while after. I was too busy, dealing with domestic stuff. But
Yeah,
I'm glad I've done it. I've made mids anyway to make Hall of Fame. I said as a parting gift for my dad, I want to make sure Holmes' name's on history, which after the last fight, have just been put in history with two Atlantic crossover promotions for world title, which I believe they've given it a draw. But watching it back over 100 times and listening to everybody else who's seen it, I believe they had 5 rounds out of that 7. So it is what it is. But you can't beat judges, can you? Sometimes. So we've run it back in December.
yeah. That would be good, because yeah, everyone was saying, and everyone believes that, myself included, that was a dodgy decision. And, it's a shame when that came off, but it happens in the game, and yeah, just get it through next time. So talking about that, obviously future plans. You've got this December fight now. in terms of where you want to go in the sport, in terms of like obviously title defenses, in terms of like challenging for other belts, any basically just to get a feel for like what's driving you from here in terms of the fights you'd most like to get, or anything you'd like
Yeah.
to share with future plans, really.
Yeah, well, I want the rematch 3rd of December. Hopefully that'll get confirmed. That's when I'll be out next. Hopefully that'll be confirmed soon. Dan McGraffin, I want to drop down that way below, fight him. I do believe I like how he come across. I think he's a good guy, but I think I've got the ability to, get that belt as well. And then I might even move up weight as well and challenge for that world title. Just where I just want big fights, see where fights are out challenging. I'm liking the American crossover at the minute what we've got. So whatever they can bring. I'm just wanting entertaining fights, big fights, and just something what's going to cement me. Like last one, although dodgy decision, I believe. I think we'll give some fans, one to watch. I think it's a good BKB. Is it? I think it's good for BKB how we come across, and it's a bit different. The first time I've had to go into the trenches, that I lost my boxing head and just started brawling. I split my knuckle first round, then my eye, then chuffing. It wasn't all going my way. Then I thought it was stopped in 3rd round because it was in chair for an extra 20, 30 seconds. I thought it's over there. So, yeah, a few things that I won't let happen to me again for the rematch anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll clear that up in the rematch, no doubt about it. But it was still a brilliant fight, though. I mean, even though the result was a bit, wasn't the best, the fight itself was very exciting. And yeah, I mean, this crossover with the American BYV and all that is really changing the game. It's very, very exciting. So, touching on a couple of other things in your life, outside of the fight, obviously, one of the things I want to do at this stage is get your thoughts on advice for. Basically people who are going through what you went through, and you mentioned at the beginning that this is something that's very big in your life, and obviously I know you're a very open guy, so people can contact you and reach out to you. Obviously with this we have quite a big reach, so when it comes to giving advice for people who are basically going through some of what you were going through before, they're going down the wrong path, the struggling, etc., and all that stuff, what would you say to people? Like, what advice would you give to people to sort of make some changes and get themselves into a better.
Make some change. Well, mine goes on, not just been, we had a lot of issues in India. We went from young, growing up, had a lot of things, happened to me, a lot of violent situations regarding my mum and her partners and stuff. We ended up in, losing houses, homes and stuff like that. But all those things, I kept inside. I just took everything, on my shoulder. But it's no shame, going out and talking to somebody about what's on your chest, because eventually, without you realising, it comes out in some form or another, whether it be, lashing out, or, dealing with stuff in other ways. There's no wrong with getting help, talking to people. And sometimes, like they did with me, I went and for a bit of counselling, so I thought enough's enough as well. And they pointed a few stuff out to me, and I thought, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And they ended up diagnosing me with PTSD and stuff. And then I knew it wasn't just me being a dickhead sort of thing. I had to then start looking for signs what were, starting to creep up. And then I started reevaluating who I'm hanging about with. I think a lot of things to do with is the crowd what you're in. If somebody, if you're that road out, you don't need somebody, coaxing you, going, oh, come on, just a beer will help you out, shove somebody up your nose or whatever. They're not the mates you want. You want mates who are trying to, succeed. You want somebody, like-minded, who's got a bit of drive in them. You want to be surround yourself with good people, because otherwise, if you're not, you're just going to end up in the same place, in same routine, same rut, and it ends up getting you places you don't want to be.
Yeah. It does. There's some really, really good advice there. And who you hang out with is massive. I mean, I've heard that a lot. You can look at somebody's mates and you can sort of see where they're going to be in 5 years or whatever, and how things are going to turn out from who you hang out with. But yeah, bottling things up as well, and not bottling them up, getting them off your chest. It's a big one. I think as men, like people do sort of hold a lot of it in. I've been through that as well. and it's not healthy, you know. So it's some really good advice there. But I know if people want more advice, obviously they can reach out to you, they can get in touch with you, which brings me to the next side of things, is some of the work that you do outside of the ring, because obviously I know there's one-on-ones, there's like you're in the process of setting some things up that you mentioned at the beginning. Let's talk about that side of it, like some of the other work you're doing.
Well, there's a few things going on now. At gym side, we're on about kids what kicks out. Mate, we're just trying to get this contract now. Kids what kicked out of mainstream school. I used to go to them and talk to them before. Now we're just in the midst of setting it up where we get 15 students and we train them, give them advice, and they're with us for a full year instead of going because they're not allowed in the mainstream school. So we're basically looking after them. And then me and my partner, we've had it in for some time now to open a wellbeing centre. We've looked up and down the country and there's not much about what we're suggesting. We've put that to the council and now council and everybody's helping us out. So like I say, we just in midst of doing all that as well as running gym. We move over to partners and yeah, we've got a few things like I say in pipe. We're all looking forward to. But it's hard to do it all. I've got to focus on fighting as well. I've got another couple of years in me with fighting yet. Just trying to get it where I've got enough family time, enough, you know, so I'm not running myself actually into the ground. But just trying to juggle what's, you know, how to handle things properly at the minute. I'm just getting a bit of help with that as well. So, got looking promising. Like I say, Mrs. is a counsellor as well, so it goes hand in hand. So, I think, yeah, can't wait to see what happens in the next couple of years, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, mate. That is good. Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier on, giving back and stuff, I've got so much respect for that, and you know, the future is very bright for you, which is good. I'm not just saying that. I mean, it really sounds like things are coming together and everything. Touching on last couple of things, you know, to get into. Obviously, one of them is fans and supporters as well, and just in terms of, you know, we've talked about advice for different people, but in terms of like the people that support you, whether it's, you know, paying to watch a fight, you know, physically or streaming or whatever, whether it's sending you messages or these different things. What would you say to some of the people who take the time to, you know, support you and support your journey?
You know, it gives you that extra boost. And I mean, some of the messages I've had, you know, from different countries and that, I think, you know, I've been gobsmacked, you know, not even realise, you know, I'm reaching that far out. And a lot of them said they've heard my story, my background story, and it gives them a bit of inspiration. So it's like a bit, yeah, how do you say it? It's hard to believe, you know, so much stuff and think, you know, I've had that impact, you know. So it gives you a sense of pride. And then, yeah, I'm starting to build up quite a following and enjoying it. A lot of people travelling to watch me, so it's good. And like I say, I hope they keep supporting me how they do, because it just gives you that extra drive, that extra boost. And when you hear everybody chanting your name as well, it's it makes I stand up and get back in it. So
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. Well, I'm sure they will continue supporting you because your journey, you know, it's on the up and up. Not only with the fighting side, but with like the work you're doing outside the ring, which is, you know, it's absolutely amazing. It is. The world needs more of that sort of thing going on, you know. So it's, anything you can do to give back. But champ, you know, it's been a pleasure, and I mean, you know, we've touched on some good stuff here. I know that, you know, there's more stuff we could get into, but at the same time, it gives people an insight of how you've turned this from negative to positive, basically. And again, I know there's a lot more to go into with that, but it just shows people what's possible.
yeah,
Basically, all I hoped for with this. So yeah, last thing for me to do, mate, say big thank you for your time and big thank you for coming on the show. Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.